Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to a new live stream, the first of 2022. And I know we're back on the main channel after having done a few live streams over on my other vlog channel. But I just got to the point where I was like, you know what? Screw it. Algorithms or what have you. If they're going to ding me for doing live streams on this channel, then so be it. But this is where all my subscribers are, and so I just decided we're gonna do the live stream on the main channel. So if you did, end up subscribing over on the vlog channel, I might end up doing something with that channel eventually. But this is probably where I'm going to continue to do the live streams going forward. So sorry, I kind of had you jump through the hoops and do that. But like I said, for a time there, I was like, I'm gonna try and you know work around the algorithm, because I've been told that, when you do live streams on a channel with regular videos, for some reason the algorithm, YouTube's algorithm, prevents like people's views start to go down on their regular videos. So if that happens, like I said, so be it. But like I said, I want to. This is where I want to do them, so we're gonna do them here on the main channel. So let us see who is in the house tonight. Toy Bandit is in the house. Says he's first, but I think actually Adam Bomb beat him. I don't know if Adam Bomb's still in the house, but it looks like he was the first to actually comment. Quinn's Comics, of course, a regular. Lord Venger. Turtle Dave is in the house. What's up? CM Brock is here. What's up? Maverick, what is up? Toy Bandit says he couldn't get through Eternals. See, so I didn't think Eternals was that bad. Uh, of course, I watched it at home for free. Well, not free, but already subscribed to Disney Plus. So basically, I didn't have to pay anything extra, and I got to watch it at home. So I thought it was an okay movie. It didn't knock my socks off in any way. But then, honestly, really, none of the MCU movies in the past year, since Black Widow, actually probably since Spider-Man: Far From Home, has not really knocked my socks off. Now, I did, really like No Way Home, Spider-Man: No Way Home, but that was kind of a unique movie in its own right, just because of the other Spider-Man and all that stuff going on. Um, but I really haven't been super wowed by the MCU since Avengers Endgame. Um, but I didn't think Eternals was a horrible movie either. It just, I mean, there were definitely, in my view, some plot holes with that movie. Um, and I guess it's been out long enough, between theaters and uh, Disney Plus, that actually I'm hearing something in the background there, and I'm not sure what it is. Actually, hold on one sec. Sorry about that. Had an iPad sitting back there, and I guess it was up on YouTube, and so I started hearing my voice in the background there. Anyway, so or Eternal. So I guess we can. It's okay to talk some Eternal spoilers since the movie's been out so long. And I gotta say, plot hole wise, my thing was their whole thing about not being involved with any, with like the Infinity War and all that with Thanos, was that they were told they could only only get involved if deviants were involved. but I feel like the whole point of them being there was to make sure the population grew and was sufficient enough to power the Celestial, right? So Thanos coming along and wiping out half the population, I feel like somebody would have made a call. Mr. Big Bad Celestial would have been called down to Ajax and been like, "Hey, you guys got to stop. I know he's not a deviant, but you got to stop that Thanos guy because he's going to wipe out half of our battery power source." So I just felt like that was just kind of a weak thing and kind of a glaring plot hole. I mean, maybe they'll explain that away at a later time, but just for now, I felt like that was definitely kind of weak. What's up, Blake? Long time no hear or see. See, Lord, better than Venom. See, the thing about Venom is I watched Eternals and Venom like on the same day, and the thing about Venom is I had very low expectations with Venom. I knew what pretty much was going to get with Venom, so that really didn't disappoint. I agree, Venom wasn't a great movie in any way, but I mean, if you just like, you know, Eddie, talking to himself, which is what we saw in the first movie, and then him fighting Carnage, you know, I didn't think it was that bad. For again, watching it home, not well. I did pay $5. I had to rent that one, but yeah. So the thing about Venom is, it's just I knew what I was going to get with that one, so my expectations were really low. Whereas Eternals, I mean, if you think about it, Eternals was supposed to be this year's big MCU movie, like this stage of the MCU's version of Avengers, right? And it just just in that regard, I don't think it delivered or came close to delivering at all. So that's where I kind of I made a comment on social media on Facebook, like that I thought Venom was actually a little bit better. It wasn't that I really thought Venom was better, it's just that my expectations lived up to what I was expecting with Venom, whereas Eternals just really didn't. John, greetings from Ireland. How are you doing? I have no idea what time it is there in Ireland, but hopefully it's not too late or too early for you. What's up, Blade Star? Seeing a few new faces here. Bean, what's up? Kit Harington was unnecessary to other than to set up the Black Knight elsewhere. Yeah, I agree. He really had really no, and like I know who the voice was in the after credit scene because I read it, but I would have had no idea. Just watching that for the first time, would have no idea what that voice was, and I'm not even sure what the connection between those two are, other than they both use swords. If you don't know, the voice that you hear is Blade, so that was weird to me. KJ with the $5 super chat donation, much appreciated, brother. I don't know if you read my comments on Facebook, KJ, about Peacemaker. So I watched the first 3 episodes last week on HBO Max. I was not terribly impressed, just because of the level of stupidity of it. I just thought way overshadowed the story. But I will say, like, episode 3 was maybe a little bit better than episode 1 and 2, and then this week's episode 4, I thought was actually much better, because they had kind of toned down just the overall stupidity of it. And I don't mind a little bit of that kind of stupidity comedy, like in the first episode when Peacemaker's talking to the janitor and they start talking about Aquaman and like, how Aquaman fucked fish. I mean, I thought that was funny, right? But when the like 95% of the episode is that kind of thing, then I think it's like way too much. And so, it is, to me, like I said, today's episode, or episode 4, which premiered today, I thought was much better because I we're starting to see the overall plot shine through, and I actually liked how we got background with like his father and stuff like that. So the show is growing on me a bit. Maverick MN, once again, brother, thank you. You guys are awesome. And Salome is joining us, though I don't think you can only see her tail on camera. But so that's my thoughts. First two episodes I wasn't super impressed with, but the show is slowly kind of growing on me as long as they keep the dumbness to a minimum. And I didn't really, with Suicide Squad, the new Suicide Squad movie, I didn't think it was a bad movie, but I felt like it was trying to be like a Deadpool movie, and I know in large part that's just James Gunn's style. But I feel like it has to be kept in check. Like I really don't feel like that kind of style really was fitting for Suicide Squad, at least the Suicide Squad I remember from the comics. So, that's why I didn't like that movie nearly as much. But yeah, again, it wasn't a bad movie. I just didn't think the style of that was really fitting for Suicide Squad. But we'll see how Peacemaker, continues. And like Vigilante on the Peacemaker show, again, like when he started out he was kind of annoying me, but I like in this latest episode I thought he was much better. That boy HT, sorry if I mispronounced that, but what's up? Let's see, KJ, Peacemaker does offer a wealth of immaturity and stupidity. And I also realize that kind of thing, there's definitely an audience out there for that kind of thing. I mean, like like those Jackass movies. I mean, those movies have a huge following, and I feel like it's kind of like that same kind of comedy. To me, it's personally not my thing, but I understand there are people who like that kind of thing. So, but I hope we see more of the story, with like the butterflies and more of the peace, what makes Peacemaker who he is and stuff. Like I really find the whole thing, the dynamic between Peacemaker and his father pretty interesting. So and I actually think John Cena is doing a pretty good job overall with the character. So I don't really have a problem with like the acting or anything like that. I just, to me, and it's a personal thing, don't like when it just gets way over stupidity. Damien says it's almost a year since it got Captain Cracker. Thanks to you, but what are your thoughts on the Thundercats Ultimates or ones you like? So I got the wave with Captain Cracker. That's my first. Those are actually my very first Super 7 figures that I got. I love the slide. I think that's an awesome. I mean, all the figures in that wave I think are really nice. Um, I would, it makes me excited for getting more Thundercats figures. It's just the wait on getting more Thundercats figures is so long with Super 7. That's really the only downside. But the figures themselves, I really like. So, like, I've been debating on whether I want to do some type of, like, best action figures of 2021 or something like that. And I don't think I'm going to, but I will tell you, and I wouldn't even categorize it as best because it's not like because I say it's the best, it's actually the best. And that goes for anybody who makes those kind of videos. But my favorite, like like I would say my favorite action figure line of 2021 was GI Joe Classified. I thought, once those figures started to actually get attainable, those figures I think have really been pretty good. I mean, there's some slight issues here and there, like Lady J's legs are really loose, at least with mine, and such. But overall, that's probably my favorite action figure line of 2021. So, again, I won't say best, but my personal favorite is GI Joe Classified. And I would probably put Thundercats up there if there had been more Thundercats released in the year. But being we only got that one wave, basically, it's kind of hard to justify that as being my favorite action figure line. What's up, Quinn? Hope you have a terrific day as well. How am I liking the Tron arcade game? I actually have been having a lot of fun with it. It's probably the one I've been playing the most recently because it's just really, you can play it for a few minutes and then go about your business. So, and I was actually going to give you a brief tour, you probably noticed I've made some changes in here. New Year's, I decided, uh, I was going to do some rearranging and stuff, and my main reason for that was, used to have like all these unopened action figures and stuff that you would see behind me, and the main reason for that was because I didn't have any place to display the figures once I opened them, and so I just kept procrastinating and not opening stuff, and I decided, I need to make some changes, so that I have more places to display stuff, and I also, I know I had said previously that I wasn't going to get any more arcade one-up machines, but when I decided that I was going, when I started envisioning how I was going to rearrange things, I came up with a way to make more room. And, as I've said before, I kind of always wanted to have my own little home arcade. So I said, screw it. And I added the Star Wars pinball machine and the Tron. And actually, there's also a Mortal Kombat game back there. It's not a full size machine, but I added that as well. So, um, Tron cabinet is beautiful. It is probably the best looking arcade cabinet that you see back there. And the game itself, while very simplistic, I'm sure most of you have probably played it at least once. Um, Very simplistic game, but it, like I said, you can play it for 5-10 minutes and then go about your day. Whereas you start playing like the X-Men or something, and that gets takes a while to actually play through and everything, so it can take a while. The pinball machine too. I'm not what I would consider to be a huge pinball enthusiast, but I've been enjoying the pinball machine as well. And with the pinball machine, I wanted a Star Wars game back there. Um, and I was looking at trying to get the arcade game that they had released, one of the first ones that they had released, but it's not readily available. I'm sure at some point they'll probably reissue it, but right now, really the only way to get it is on the secondary market, and it goes for like around over $1,000 for 1,600, and I just wasn't willing to pay that much. Um, so I decided, to kind of change things up and add the pinball machine, and so I went with the Star Wars one, which actually is really nice. It plays like Star Wars music when you're playing and stuff. So I've been enjoying that. It's virtual pinball. It's actually arcade. It's not like the game itself is kind of like an actual arcade. I guess is how you would describe it, but it worked. I mean, it plays just like a real pinball machine. So I think it's, and you can play like, you can like switch up the different games. Like there's like 8 different versions of pinball for Star Wars themed pinball, that is, that you can play on it. So it's pretty cool. Jerry says he likes the X-Men arcade. Street Fighter, played those in grade school. Yeah, I mean, I like, I play that a lot too. So I have one other one up in my regular office that, where I used to film videos and stuff, um, which has like the X-Men Children of the Atom and stuff. So I guess while we're on the I'll take. I was gonna. I'm probably, and I may still do it. Gonna do an actual video tour as a regular video, but I did go on and set up so I could kind of give you a tour. So let me turn this on. My little mobile camera. So as I walk around, the mic is is not. This is the mic, so I can't get the mic when I'm streaming like this. So as I walk around, my voice might get a little farther away. So just be wary of that. And so this is my computer workstation. This is where I do most of my work all day. So this is a recent addition. This was on sale at Entertainment Earth over the holidays, so I decided to go on and pick up that Transformers Arc. And this is just a shelf of random stuff. Bunch of DVDs. Old 8-track player. Shows my age. TV. This is more unopened stuff. My fish. You've seen those before. I've showed you those before. Unicron, still where he always was. But so this side, so first of all, so one of the main changes that I did here was I enclosed this area. So this is, I essentially made it kind of a separate room. This is my basement, but I made it a separate room using mainly like the glass cases and stuff. So as the wall. So that was one of the main changes I made. So this whole area is now kind of enclosed. This is where I do reviews and stuff. So I added shelves over here. These are all, I added all these glass cabinets over here. And, you know, put lights in these shelves. So this is my Thundercat Shelf. So, you know, a lot of these are the Mattel, you know, the first round of Mattel ones that were released. I didn't buy the Super 7 versions. So, but like Jaga, that's Super 7. Wily Kit and Wily Cat, those are Mattel. Lion-O and Panthro are Mattel. So these are the good guy shelf over here. And then over on this side is the bad guy shelf. So this is Mumra. This is the Mattel one. Jackal Man. Captain Cracker. Slide. I mean, this is the best. I think this is the nicest Thundercat figure that has been made so far. I mean, this is just a gorgeous figure. And, like, it's near perfection. So, I think they did a great job on that. And this is my 90s Marvel shelf. So, you know, Thunderstrike, US Agent, War Machine, Punisher Blade. Now, some of these shelves I'm still kind of slowly adding to. This is my Fantastic Four shelf. My Mirage Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shelf from Neca. And then right now I have like World War II Captain America and his motorcycle. Now this cabinet is my DC shelf. So open her up here. I hope you guys can all, and I can't see comments while I'm walking around, so just note I can't see what you guys are saying at the moment. And hopefully you can still hear me. In fact, let me just confirm and walk back over. You guys are able to still hear me while I'm over on that side? See Michael's there. Aaron, what's up? Okay. Thanks, man. Alright, so this is my, so up here on top, this is my Bat Cave. So I got the McFarlane Toys Adam West. I'll turn some extra light on here. So the Adam West Bat Cave, and then I've got the DC Direct Bat Cave for the animated series, and then just some random Batman stuff. Oh, and the Batman animated series motorcycle. Now I have the Batwing and the Batmobile for the animated series up in my main office. So I'm not going to be able to show you that tonight, but if I do a regular video with a tour, I'll show you that. So this is my DCU shelf, my current one. So Justice League Snyder Cut figures and Suicide Squad figures. I actually, for Peacemaker, one thing the show did encourage me, I decided to do is I ordered from a, you know, totally not from McFarlane obviously, but somebody was making a gun belt and gun for Peacemaker, and so I went. It's $25. It's almost kind of ridiculous. I got to pay as much for the figure as I do for his gun, but I decided it was worth it. But that's my DCU shelf. And then this is my comic book based shelf. So right now these on this shelf is pretty much just McFarlane stuff. And then this is my CW shelf. So these are the DC collectible figures. Too bad that We're not getting any more of these. And then this is just kind of random. So that's my DC shelf. Down here now in my other office, I've got more cases, so I've got probably a lot more Marvel Legends upstairs than I do down here. But this is my MCU Phase 2 shelf here, and this cabinet is all Marvel. So it's my Phase 2 MCU shelf. My Phase 1 MCU shelf is upstairs. And this is my 90s X teams, Alpha Flight 2. I kind of put them in with the X teams. So X Factor, Alpha Flight, Excalibur, and X Force. And then this is more teams. So West Coast Avengers, the Russia team, Thunderbolts, and New Warriors. And then down here are my bad guy shelf. And I got Stiltman over here on the side because he's too tall to fit in the shelf. So then continuing Marvel over here, I put my Sentinel in here. So I created a little X-Men Battle Dio shelf for my Sentinel. And then up here is Star Wars, the Bad Batch, Rebels, and Rogue One in the back there. And then up here is my Mandalorian shelf. And I got more Star Wars Black Series figures upstairs. And then back over here, so once again, the Thundercats. And this is my Spawn shelf. This is my Avengers shelf. These are like SH Figuarts figures with that Hasbro Tesseract, which I put a light behind so it lights up all the time. This is kind of random. Mezco's Judge Dredd, and then the NECA, the boys figures. And then I got the Rogue One vintage collection tank down there on the bottom. Alright, and then back here, so more glass cases. So up here, got Transformers. And then I've got my G.I. Joe Classified, Cobra, Bad Guy. This is my Bad Guy shelf. So I finally got the Bat and Alley Viper. Now I just need to get Spirit and Storm Shadow and the Cobra Officer. And my Good Guy shelf. And then I got Transformers on the bottom two shelves. And then over here, this is my He-Man shelf. So the Origins Castle Grayskull with He-Man. Then I have my Masterverse figures, the bad guys up here. The good guys. And then Origins, so bad guy Origins. And then good guy Origins. So I got caught up, I'm all caught up currently on everything that's currently out. I'm caught up on both Revelation and Origins. And then finally, I've got my NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated series figures. I had a lot of these that I had not opened, but I have now opened everyone, like a couple of the exclusives I haven't opened, but I've opened pretty much all my turtle figures. So good guys, main good guys I should say, main bad guys, and then just random characters. And then I love this box art for the Castle Grayskull, so I like displaying that. My Sergeant Slaughter figure. So this is my arcade row over here. So this is my Donkey Kong cabinet. I've showed you this before. There's actually a ton of arcade games on here, like a lot of classic games, Pac-Man, Zaxxon, Cubert, Frogger, things like that. But this is primarily Donkey Kong. Now this is Arcade 1-Up. This is one of their smaller, like countertop countercades, I think they call it. So it's actually pretty cool. It only cost $150, It's got a light up marquee, and it's got some of the Mortal Kombat games, Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat. So I decided to pick that up. Got my Storm collectible figures. Then I got the X-Men arcade, my figures. And yeah, I got figures displayed on all the machines. My autograph by Stan Lee, X-Men #1. My custom-made MCU US agent. Bunch of Marvel. I might eventually. I'm probably gonna pull, switch these out and put some lights up here and put open figures. But right now I've just got, I like how the boxes look with all the artwork. My Hall of Armor, the Disney toy box Hall of Armor with Marvel Legend figures on it. Some Diamond Select figures. So, my McFarlane Batman figure year 2. Fortunately, I did not have any quality control issues with mine. So pretty happy about that. I know a lot of people have had some issues with theirs. The Tron cabinet with so I got these Diamond Select Toys Tron figures, the Comic-Con exclusives with the translucent plastic. So let me turn the lights off a little bit. They don't pick up the light quite as much as I was hoping to, but I think they look pretty good on the cabinet. So definitely a beautiful cabinet. The lighting, the black lights and everything on this is really nice. So I don't know if it's worth really, technically it's hard to say whether it's worth the $700 that it costs, but I said screw it, and I definitely have enjoyed it. Then the Marvel vs. Capcom, my Street Fighter figures and my Marvel figures. Darth Vader and Boba Fett. This is the New Hope game, but there's like Empire Strikes Back. There's a Boba Fett game. There's Darth Vader game. There's a whole bunch of games. There's Force Awakens. You get, they have both. It's a really nice looking machine. So enjoying that. And then my turtle. I got turtle figures up there. Hot toy figures. Iron Man and War Machine. This is mostly just like, I put like all my accessories and stuff, loose accessories in these drawers. Like I didn't open this one. Got my Justice League Batmobile there. Aquaman and Submariner are guarding my fish tank from who. More drawers of accessories. These aren't accessories in here, but these clear plastic drawers with tons of accessories. Same with over there. This one as well. So that's the tour. But I'm really happy with it. I think it came out pretty good. And definitely is giving me a lot more display space for my figures and everything, which was my #1 goal, so that I can actually open things and enjoy them as opposed to keeping them in the box. Sherry says, where's the popcorn maker and the pizza oven? I don't have a pizza oven, but the popcorn maker is up in the kitchen. KJ, yep, Salome. Salome is amazingly well behaved around all those toys. Well, she's being good at the moment, but you can't leave accessories lying around, or she steals them or chews them up. So, the figures themselves she doesn't bother, but if there's an accessory that she can get to, she will grab it and carry it. Merman and Tila in the next wave is probably going to be out in a couple months. You can pre-order them now, so just go to Big Bad Toy Store and see what release date they have for that wave. It might show up sooner at some places, but that'll give you a general idea. Do I know what's happening with NECA's Bruce the Shark? Been 2 years since the announcement. I just saw today they made a comment that it's still in the works, so I don't know when they're going to actually show it or take pre-orders for it or whatever, but it is still coming. So, and I saw that comment they made on social media on Twitter today. He is still coming. Do I have any '80s toys? I have a few here and there. Mostly packed away. I have some Star Wars stuff, like the Millennium. I have my original Kenner Millennium Falcon. Um, so a few things here and there, but I'm not really a huge vintage collection. I mean, I had a lot of that stuff as a kid, but unfortunately, most of it did not make its way with me to adulthood, thanks to my parents getting rid of a lot of the stuff when I was in college. But and I've never had a huge desire to go back and buy old vintage toys for the most part. But I do have a few here and there. No problem. Yeah, I'm waiting to see the shark. What they're gonna do, and I'm not sure if it's gonna be like a Kickstarter thing or they're just gonna open pre-orders for it or what. It'll I'm curious to see. I mean, I can't say that I necessarily, especially since I'm sure it's not gonna be super cheap. I don't know if it's something I would personally get, but I definitely am curious to see what they do with it. What's up, Oh Snap? So let's talk some GI Joe, since that was one of the main things I had indicated we were going to talk about tonight. Being that tomorrow we do have a live stream for GI Joe, which I'm pretty excited for. Again, probably my favorite action figure line of 2021 was GI Joe Classified. So, and we've got, like, with the next wave, we should be getting the Crimson Tomax and Zaymar, the Crimson Guard commanders. So, and Stalker, I think, is in that next wave. Now, I don't know if we'll actually see those tomorrow. I hope maybe we get to see at least some of them, but being they're not going up for pre-order like this week, is from everything I've seen. I don't know if they're actually going to show any of that or not, but I hope so, because I really want to see what the Crimson Guard commanders look like. Those figures. The Crimson Guardsmen are coming in a later wave, so I don't think we'll see that this week. But that's those are some of the figures I'm most eagerly anticipating for 2022. CT, do I think Bruce the Shark will have latex skin? I don't know. I don't know. It would be cool, but at the same time, I would have to wonder how well that would hold up over time. So I almost feel like it wouldn't be good if they did latex skin. But I have no idea. I've not seen them comment really much on the actual construction of it. Just that they keep saying it's coming. My parents gave away original Kenner AT-AT when I was away at college. Seems to be kind of, yeah. Well, actually, it wasn't even college when they got. I mean, we moved. When I was in, it was actually probably high school. But when we moved, I'm originally from Kentucky, and we moved to the Washington D.C. area when I was about ninth grade in high school, and at that point, a lot of, like, my old toys ended up not making it. So, uh, but yeah, and I mean, as a kid, I had a lot of Star Wars stuff as a kid. A lot of the Kenner stuff. I had the AT-AT, I had the Death Star playset, I had the Sandcrawler. I had I up until the point of I kind of quit collecting Star Wars as a kid. Right about the time of the original Power of the Force line with the coins and stuff. Like I didn't get any of those figures or anything. But up until that point, I probably had practically every single Star Wars toy that was released by Kenner, during that time. VV, what Marvel Legends am I most looking forward to in 2022? For me, it's the Spider-Man Anniversary line. Well, for me, I gotta say probably the U.S. Agent figure that should be coming in the next Avengers wave, which hopefully will be announced soon, officially announced. I've told you guys what figures are in it. I was the first one to actually tell you what that wave was going to be. I know some others here recently have started to pass that same information around, but yes, U.S. Agent being one of my favorite characters is probably the figure I'm most eagerly anticipating. Now I haven't seen it yet, obviously, so you know, hopefully it will be a good looking figure. Um, like I don't know if you guys saw this cover that Marvel just announced for the new Captain America comics, but this gatefold cover, I think this, I love this. This is I made this a wallpaper on my desktop. So yeah, Sam Wilson is donning the Captain America costume, so we're gonna get two caps. But that doesn't bother me too much, to be honest. And I like this shield. I like this new shield that they've given Sam. So I kind of hope we get a Marvel Legend version of him with wings this time. I hope, and then the shield. But like U.S. Agent over here, um, I'm hoping this is what the new Marvel Legend U.S. Agent figure will look like on a bigger buck than the original one. If this is what it looks like on the right size buck or body, whatever you want to call it, then I will be very happy. So that to me is probably the figure that I am most eagerly anticipating. I'm interested to see what the Speedball figure looks like. I mean, I want to, for me, for Marvel Legends, I'm most interested in like rounding out my teams, my team shelf over there. So like, X Force. I'm still waiting on the Richter, 3-pack with Cannonball and Domino. I haven't gotten mine. I ordered mine through Disney Plus, and they've yet to ship theirs. So I'm still waiting on that. But and I'm hoping we get Wolfsbane and Farrell, to round out those teams this year. I mean, I haven't seen any indication that we are, but I'm hopeful that maybe we'll get those. Rachel Summers for Excalibur, though I'm guessing we probably won't see her until maybe next year. I doubt we'll see her this year. But and hopefully we'll, Speedball for the new Warriors, and maybe we'll see, I'm hoping at some point we'll get a new Vance Astro, a young Vance Astro. We got the old Vance Astro as part of that Guardians of the Galaxy team, which they've never done any of the other members of that version of the Guardians of the Galaxy, which I would love to see them to do. That to me was my favorite version of Guardians of the Galaxy, that original team. So I would not mind if Hasbro were to do more of those figures, but right now the only one they gave, well, actually I take that. Yeah, they have not given us any others from that Guardians of the Galaxy team, not in 6-inch form. We did see a few in the 3 3/4-inch form, but so any team that team member like that they give us to round out teams is for me what I'm probably most interested in. But U.S. Agent by far has got to be the one I'm looking forward to seeing the most. Now I would love to see more Spider-Man No Way Home figures like Doc Ock and Green Goblin, and sure Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man figures, which I gotta imagine those will come sooner or later. I think probably Hasbro was kept in the dark by the studio. They probably weren't aware of like Toby and Andrew being in the movie until they actually saw it in the movie, being they were trying to keep it, the worst kept secret on the internet. But so they probably couldn't start working on a lot of those until late, not soon enough to actually be able to get those out in time for the movie's release. So, we might not see those until either late this year or next year. But I gotta imagine those will come at some point. Let's see. Tyler is saying he wants Octo Spider and Man Spider. For Man Spider, that Toy Biz one that was released in the original Spider-Man line, 6-inch Spider-Man line back in the day, that's going to be a very hard. I know it's an old figure, but that's going to be very hard to beat. The detail on that one was so incredible. Well, I get it. Well, I get new Spider Verse movie figure. Well, there's definitely going to be figures from the movie, so whether I get them or not, I don't know. We'll see what how the movie is and what figures they do. But there's definitely a wave for the new Spider Verse animated movie coming. Let's see, do I know if Diamond? Sorry, Salome is sitting in front of the screen. Do I know if Diamond canceled the re-release of the Select Watcher? I don't think so. I think that got released several weeks. I mean, I know it's sold out most places really quick, but I think that it actually already got released. Um, I didn't get. I still have my original one, but I don't think it was canceled. So if it hasn't been released yet, then my guess is it will still come. Maybe it's running behind. I haven't followed that close. I know the release date was supposed to be like last month, I think it was, but I have I don't think it's been canceled. Whether it was released and just sold out so quickly, maybe you didn't see it, or maybe it just didn't get released. I don't know for sure, but if it hasn't been released, then it should be coming. I know like Big Bad Toy Store sold out of their pre-orders like really quick. Well, Amazon I think canceled orders because they oversold it. I don't think it's because the figure got canceled. I think Amazon just oversold it. Um, but I don't remember actually hearing any if anybody got theirs from Amazon yet or not. So that's what I'm a little unsure of. But I know like on the Diamond's release date schedule, that should have already come and gone. So unless it got delayed, John, the Hawkeye series already ended and we still don't get any figures. Well, there are figures coming. We saw the two Hawkeye and Kate Bishop, which I still don't know if those are the figures that are going to be in the Disney Plus wave. There's a Disney Plus wave coming this year. I think those are probably the Disney Plus wave figures. But there's also a 2-pack coming for Hawkeye. So, and I'm not entirely sure what the figures are in that 2-pack. That's why I don't know if we're getting like two versions of Hawkeye and Kate Bishop or if we're getting completely different figures. Obviously, I think a lot of people want to see Kingpin, but I haven't seen anything specifically for Kingpin. But he could be the Build-A-Figure for the upcoming Disney Plus wave. He could be one of the figures in the 2-pack. I don't know. So we'll have to wait and see. But there's definitely Hawkeye figures coming this year. It's just I guess because Hawkeye, there's other figures in the Hawkeye wave for shows that have not yet aired, like Miss Marvel, Moon Knight, things like that. So that wave is not going to be released probably until later in the year, like the spring or summertime. So it's going to be a little while before we actually get in hand, I think, any Hawkeye figures. And I think that's just the timing of the show being out at the beginning of the year, but having to wait for the other shows to air before they release the wave. Yeah, but did Amazon cancel all their orders? I don't know. I have not followed the Watcher thing that closely, so I can't say. I mean, I think if it was canceled, like they just weren't releasing it, Big Bad Toy Store would have canceled their orders too. So even if it hasn't actually been released, my guess is it's just been delayed, as a lot of things have, and will eventually get released. I know they just recently solicited their Juggernaut figure, so they're putting a lot of those older figures out again. The more popular ones. Seeing Brock wants a new updated classic, or I'm sorry, no, Hot Toys release for Hawkeye either. Yeah, yeah, I don't know if Hot Toys is going to do anything for Hawkeye. I mean, to me, the Hawkeye series, I mean, again, like with a lot of the recent MCU stuff, it wasn't bad. I didn't hate it, but I didn't think it was great either. Um, and I felt like, while it was cool to see the Kingpin back in the MCU, I didn't really feel like they used the character very well in the Hawkeye series. So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, definitely there's going to be some Marvel Legends, but whether we're going to see any other companies doing Hawkeye stuff other than Funko Pop, I would say maybe not. I'm really surprised they didn't reveal, like, again, I know there's at least two Hawkeye figures, Hawkeye and Kate Bishop, in the Disney Plus wave, and then there's a Hawkeye 2-pack. What I don't know for sure is the two figures that they have shown us, whether those are the 2-pack figures or the single releases. But I am surprised that they did not go on and show the rest of the Hawkeye figures, you know, that are coming, like after the show ended. That I was a little surprised at. Like on Marvel.com, after every episode they show off products based on the episode and stuff, and they did not do anything for the final episode. So I know the final episode came out around Christmas time and everything, but I was really surprised they did not show anything more for Hawkeye after the final episode. Diamond Select said Watcher was still on a boat a few weeks ago. So I didn't see that personally, but that sounds probably right. So yeah, it sounds like it was just delayed. Tyler says Hawkeye got screwed in his own show. And well, I got to be honest. So Jeremy Renner had two shows going at almost at the same time. One on Disney Plus with Hawkeye, and then over on Paramount Plus, he had this show called The King of Marestown, which I actually liked that show better than Hawkeye. I thought that was actually more interesting. In that one, he's basically he's like the in between guy between like the prisoners and the police force, and it's kind of weird. And the final episode of that series I thought was a little lackluster, but still overall I enjoyed that one better than I did Hawkeye. Thousand Wolf says he got his Mad Balls from Megalopolis. So congrats, and if you didn't know, Big Bad Toy Store, after Premium DNA started delivering on their Madball figures, did go on and open up pre-orders for the Battletoad figures. So if you wanted to get those, my recommendation would be pre-order them through Big Bad Toy Store. But that was a few weeks ago, so. Oh man. Have I pre-ordered the Black Series Boba Fett figure? I've no. The deluxe one, I assume I've not pre-ordered that one. I'll get it when it comes out, but I haven't pre-ordered it. I did pre-order the Fennec and yeah, the Fennec figure. So I'm waiting for that one to come in. But I don't think it'll be, once it's actually out in any kind of real way, I don't think it'll be a hard figure to get. I just got Disney Plus, binge watched Hawkeye. Disappointed it wasn't awful. Not Sorry, I'm trying to read around my cat, but did not feel like it. Yeah, that was kind of my feeling. Snap is it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't fantastic either. But that's been my kind of my feeling with most of the Disney Plus shows. Quinn's got his year two Batman. Hopefully, you haven't had any quality control issues on that. Jerry says he heard Scarlett Johansson and Disney reached a settlement. Yep, and they're working together again. She's producing, not Marvel related, but she's producing something for Disney. I forget what it was, but yes, they've settled their differences, which means somebody got to pay out. I think Scarlett came out on top on that one. So Moon Knight. So that the trailer that debuted this week. I mean, that looks interesting, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I feel like I know, the character has is kind of schizophrenic, multiple personality disorder, or so. But like, and I've only read like I read a lot of the Moon Knight comics in the '90s, but I really haven't read anything in recent years. So like while that was always a thing with the character, I don't remember the multiple personality thing being like that major of a component of the stories. Um, so I'm curious, like if they really are going to go all in on this whole multiple personality thing, which from the trailer kind of looks like they are. How that's going to play out. But of course, I mean, one of the things that's kind of been annoying me with MCU is all the all the overblown rumors. Now, I feel kind of you know, I feel like I don't have a lot of room to talk down on rumors because I give you guys a lot of rumors for Marvel Legends. However, I when I give you information, I always try and make sure it is very accurate information. I call it a rumor because it's not officially confirmed. But when you start getting into the MCU stuff, there are so many rumors that start flying around about these things that, and some do end up being true, but many do not. And it's like, I can't go on like Instagram without getting flooded with 50 million MCU rumors. Like, somebody saw in the Moon Knight trailer, like Von D in the back of a truck, and all of a sudden now Doctor Doom is going to be in the Moon Knight series, or just things like that, and it just gets like Tom Cruise is going to be in the Doctor Strange movie. I mean, maybe he is, but I feel like there's just so many rumors that are flying around that it gets annoying to me. Um, and they take a life, they take on a life of their own. I'm sure the people who screamed that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield were going to be in the Spider-Man movie feel completely vindicated now. Um, but and like I said, there are definitely people who get legitimate info on this stuff and put it out there, but there's just a lot of bullshit out there as well, and it's very hard. It makes it very hard to kind of sort out what is legit and what's complete bullshit. Oh snap! Thought it was odd when they added Moon Knight to the Avengers West Coast. Yeah, I did. I didn't like that story. That was when like Bobby, Mockingbird had killed somebody, and so Clint was like condemning her for having killed somebody, and Moon Knight was kind of like came to her defense. It was like the Phantom. I forget the character that she had killed or thought she had killed or something, but and it kind of caused this whole division within the team. So you had like you had Team Mockingbird, and then you had Team Hawkeye, and Moon Knight was like on Mockingbird's side and stuff. So I didn't really like his involvement in the West Coast Avengers when he came along. Yeah, it all started with Mephisto and WandaVision. I mean, that's certainly a good example of a bullshit rumor that took on a life of its own. Um, but yeah, that kind of thing definitely. And people do it because they get attention. It doesn't matter if you pass around a bullshit rumor because nobody remembers who started the bullshit rumor, but it still gets passed around and people get the attention. They get the likes on Instagram, they get the followers on Instagram or whatever social media platform they're using. But that's what motivates it. So anyway, we got off track getting back onto GI Joe. So I do think a lot of the focus for tomorrow's live stream is going to be on exclusives. I have a feeling they might go on and announce that Walmart exclusive, you know, line that's dubbed as retro 6-inch retro figures, which I'm thinking is going to be mostly repaints or slightly retooled figures of existing ones with more classic looks. Well, maybe on classic cardbacks would be my guess. So I have a feeling that might be announced tomorrow. Um, we'll probably see some more 3 3/4 inch O-ring stuff. Released directly through Hasbro Pulse. They'll probably show some of that stuff tomorrow. Maybe get an update on the Sky Striker. Maybe more Tiger Force Target exclusive reveals. We might see that Duke and vehicle. I could see that getting revealed tomorrow. But I do hope that even though nothing's going to be going up for pre-order this week, I do hope they preview some regular release figures tomorrow as well. Again, stock. I'd love to see Stalker. Hopefully, Stalker's this classic look with the green camo, and then the Crimson Guard commanders. I'm sure we will get Dreadnoks at some point, but I don't think there's any Dreadnoks coming this year. I don't remember seeing any listings for Dreadnoks. I won't say 100%, but I don't think there's going to be Dreadnoks released this year. I'm sure eventually they will, but right now, Jerry says another roadblock. I think we've got. I mean, if you got that Amazon roadblock, that was definitely the best roadblock. They saved the best for last on that one, but yeah, hopefully no more roadblocks. I mean, we might. I could see maybe. Well, maybe in the retro line, maybe Tiger Force version. I could see them maybe doing. Yeah, I could see them doing Tiger Force roadblock, even though there wasn't no such thing in the original line, but. I'm kind of worried about Masters of the Universe. I mean, we've got Origins and Masterverse and everything, but being we have not yet heard anything on whether we're getting more seasons of either cartoon on Netflix, that has me a little worried. Maybe they're just waiting to announce it, but I feel like if we don't get new seasons of at least one of the two shows, the toy lines are going to end up, essentially kind of evaporating. So. Have any GI Joe passed me by? As in, like I haven't gotten them? No. I'm actually. I mean, I haven't gotten the newest wave with Storm Shadow, Spirit, and Cobra Officer, which has only seen very limited release. Wasn't even those weren't even supposed to be out until this summer, so I'm not sure why those started to see release already. Um, I'm caught up on everything else. So was there? I don't remember a classic. I don't remember Roadblock in the original Tiger Force line. I kind of quit collecting GI Joe back in the day. By the time Tiger Force came around, so I'm not a Tiger Force expert, but I don't remember it off the top of my head. I remember the cartoon. Tiger Force debuted when Dick took over the cartoon from Sunbow, and like that first limited series where Cobra Commander gets turned back to a human from being a snake, and then they turn Serpentor into a snake. So that's what I remember most about Tiger Force, and like they used that ray that they used to turn Cobra Commander back into a human. They used to basically turn their vehicles into Python Patrol. That's kind of when GI Joe started to go downhill, in my view. Do I think we'll get an announcement on Pulse Fan Fest next month to take the place of Toy? I, I don't know if we're like they don't do. It's not like San Diego where they do like PulseCon. I'm trying to remember exactly what they did last year. I kind of want to say they just did like a day where they did like back to back live streams, maybe 2 days worth of live streams with all the individual brands. But I don't. It's not going to be like a big huge. I don't think it's going to be like a big huge event like PulseCon. Um, and I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they just end up doing like live streams every week. This week we get GI Joe. Hasbro's Marvel Legend guys said that there's not going to be a Marvel Legend panel this month. So, there's only this Friday and next Friday left in this month. So I could see them doing one of the other brands on that last Friday of this month. But, I wouldn't be surprised if basically they just do like live streams every week for the various brands and kind of go back and forth and stuff. But I mean, if they are planning some, I mean, the thing is I don't know. Obviously, Toy Fair and the Toy Association waited to the last minute to announce that Toy Fair was canceled this year. In fact, the week before they had announced Toy Fair was canceled, they were like, "Oh yeah, Toy Fair is definitely going on this year." But I don't know how serious the companies had taken that. Like, if they were all in and were definitely like thinking Toy Fair was going to happen this year, or if they were more like skeptical or were not. I'd heard some companies weren't actually, even if Toy Fair had happened this year, some companies were not actually going to attend this year because of COVID concerns, and Omicron and everything. So I don't know how far along the planning process Hasbro was in doing a physical Toy Fair appearance, and now if they're scrambling to try and switch gears to do something virtual. I don't know. So, but I'm sure we'll hear something within a few weeks if there is going to be something like a big event that they're going to do in place of Toy Fair. But I also just wouldn't be surprised if they end up doing just like live streams every week for the various brands and stuff. And the other thing that's kind of impacting it is just, or I would say impacting things is just like things get announced, but then like they don't go up for pre-order until like weeks from now. I mean, they've announced the Iron Spider figure. We saw D Amazing do a review of that figure that they sent him today, but that figure is not going to go up for pre-order until, according to Hasbro, this spring. So a lot of stuff, because of all the delays and shipping delays and everything, have kind of screwed up their pre-orders and release dates and such. So uh, I'm sure that's having an impact on what they're willing to reveal and when they're willing to reveal it and all that kind of thing as well. Uh, what it comes down to, I have a feeling that things are very chaotic behind the scenes. We're not going to see that ourselves, but I wouldn't be surprised if things are kind of chaotic with a lot of these toy companies right now. What's up, action figure expert? I'm doing good. Hopefully, you are doing good yourself. Today's Thursday, so how is today National Tuesday? What do I think of the Batgirl suit for the new Batgirl series? I thought it would look pretty good. Very reminiscent of like the original '66 back suit. So I thought from the picture we saw, I thought it looked really good. Am I supplementing my GI Joe with Action Force? No, I am not. I do have the Sergeant Slaughter figure, which I'm still waiting on from Big Bad Toy Store. I know people who ordered it directly from Valaverse have gotten theirs, but I have not gotten my Sergeant Slaughter yet. But right now, that is the only Action Force figure that I have gotten. So, being that space is often an issue, I kind of just stick with the actual characters that I like. Um, you know, I've heard pretty good things about the Action Force figures, but being they're not, except for Sarge himself, the others are not really actually GI Joe characters. So, and GI Joe is what attracts me to like the classified line. So, and again, I only have so much room to display things, so it's not like I'm going out trying to find supplements for stuff. But I'm hoping my Sergeant Slaughter arrives because I'm very curious to see how good that figure is. Cheese Day. Now that sounds better than Tuesday. Oh, they did. Okay. Well, but I mean, I don't know what kind. It's, but all that really was they did a bunch of live streams back to back, right? If I remember correctly. But you're right. It was later than it was. Idiot Frat Boy subscribed to the channel. Thanks for subscribing, man. But if I remember correctly, it was basically just back to back live streams. I mean, I don't know. I don't really like the whole Hasbro. I mean, for me personally, I'm happy when they just do the reveals. I don't need all the glitz and glamour. I don't need the special talk show hosts and all that stuff. So, for me, I'd be happy if they just do live streams where they're just focusing on talking about and revealing new product. But if they do something special, again, we'll have to wait and see. But I've not heard anything, really anything at all, in regards to what they plan on doing in lieu of Toy Fair. Like I saw Neca make some comments, like saying that they were making plans now on what they were doing, as opposed to going to Toy Fair. And again, I'm sure it'll be something similar to what they did at San Diego and last year and stuff, where they do virtual reveals. But Eric Stream, any NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle news? Uh, I mean, nothing since like this week where we saw the new Universal Monster mashup figure, the Hunchback figure, and then we got some teases for a couple other figures. But nothing, we got some news a few weeks ago on some stuff. Like, I'm looking forward to Usagi Jumbo. Like, I don't know. We are getting definitely into a lot of the more obscure characters. So, like Usagi is one I'm definitely going to pick up when that gets offered. But like the neutrinos, I can't say that like I'm super excited to get those. I mean, I may pick them up. I don't know, but if I didn't get those, it wouldn't be the end of the world for me. So for me with turtles, and I like the turtles, but I'm not like it's not something I collected as a kid. I watched the cartoon as a kid, but it's not a toy line that I collected as a kid. So for me, you know, I probably I don't know how if I'm going to end up getting every single figure that NECA releases going forward. I might start getting a little more choosier just because of space and things like that, and just because we're getting into characters that I barely remember from the cartoon or what have you. But Usagi is definitely one that I'm looking forward to from Neca on that up front. And there's going to be, like, I know some people who missed April the first time. There's been indications they are going to do a new April, probably modify the head, since people seem to have a problem with that, and make that available. But just got the CGI Battle Cat. I have not seen Battle Cat. I've seen a few of those figures. I haven't gotten any, but I mean, I like the show. Most of the character design, like I like Orko. I kind of like how they made Orko a robot, and the new Manny Faces figure that we saw this week. I thought that was actually pretty interesting. But like a lot of the character design and Ram Man, even though they made Ram Man a female, I actually kind of like. But like overall, I'm not like Evelyn and Sorceress and even He Man himself. Those designs to me aren't my favorite. Eric Stream got Battle Cat on clearance. Nice. Yeah, my Target has a lot of Battle Cats, a lot of Fake Ore figures, a lot of Skelly God figures. Do I think NECA will re-release the Mirage Turtle figures again? Probably, since they have indicated they're going to be doing a lot of Mirage stuff. I wouldn't be surprised, for those who missed out on the originals. I'd be very surprised if they didn't reissue like the Turtles and probably Casey Jones and April. Um, yeah, the price on those, I mean, those are made for the kids, definitely, so they have cheaper price points. Um, yeah, and I mean, I don't hate the line. To me, again, space. I only have so much space. I can only display so many things. When you collect a lot of different action figure lines, if all you collect is He-Man, then if all I collected was He-Man, I probably would get them. But Origins and Masterverse have me pretty satisfied on the Masters of the Universe front. Yeah, I mean that. This past weekend. I went to three Targets, and only one had the Triclops figure, but the all of them had those other figures just kind of clogging the shelves. Yes, Battle Salome. Getcha Gray has a two-car garage for storage. Well, I have an actual storage facility. I mean, it's not just action figures, but I mean, if you have to put them in bins and store them away, I mean, what's the point of having them? I mean, you can't enjoy them if they're not out on display. So, I mean, yeah, I've got a ton of stuff packed up and in storage, but if you can't enjoy it, it's to me it's kind of pointless to buy it just for the sake of buying it. Thank you. Hopefully you caught the tour I gave a little bit earlier here, but yeah, it came out nice. Any release date on the DC McFarlane Ice King Build-A-Figure? He looks interesting. Uh, I mean, they're up for pre-order, so just go to like Big Bad or Entertainment Earth and see what release date. Even Amazon, I think, has them up for pre-order. I don't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, there should be a release date assigned to those figures. They went up for pre-order this week. I think it was this week. either this week or last week. I lose track. There's been so much McFarlane stuff going out for pre-order here recently that it's kind of hard to keep track. But yeah, there should definitely be a pre-order date assigned to that wave because it is available for pre-order now. Does Battle Cat have a race in the old series? Uh, Not that I recall. I mean, he was just a cat in the original series. I mean, I'm sure there's other tigers on Eternia. Um, I don't know if any of the other cats talk. I don't know if they ever explain why in the original show why Cringer was able to talk, but not like in the CGI series where he had kind of like a tribe. They've never. That's kind of new for that series. What's up, Capona Bear? Sorry, I was going back through comments. I was trying to find something. I can't find it. Never mind. I did too. I thought it was a great cartoon. I love the toy line. I have all those figures from that line. They're packed away, but I mean that's really what got me into He-Man toys. As a kid, when the original series was out, I watched the cartoon, but I did not collect He-Man figures as a kid. I was into Transformers and GI Joe as a kid, so really the 2002 action figures were the first He-Man figures that I really got into. So, and I was really disappointed that series didn't get renewed for another season. It was a really good series. As much as I like Revelation and even the new CGI series, I think that 2000X series was probably the best overall Masters of the Universe cartoon made to date. Quinn says scheduled for April 27th for the Frost King wave. That's through Diamond, so I wouldn't be surprised if retailers like Target and Walmart got them sooner, but that gives you a general idea. Stickman got his Marvel Legend Armored and Ben Riley Spider Man coming from Big Bad Toy Store tomorrow. Your armored. Oh, you're talking about the retro figures? Yeah. The armored Spider Man and the Ben Riley Spider Man? Yeah, nice. I didn't know Big Bad had started shipping those. I know they started showing up at retail, but it's cool that Big Bad is starting to ship those out as well. I haven't pre-ordered any of those. You know, I pro I don't know if I'm gonna get them all. I think I might get Hammerhead, um, but I'm not sure on the others. Just because I have versions of those other figures already. The Doctor Strange wave surprisingly has already started to hit retail shelves as well. But like with that, like I'm definitely gonna get Sleepwalker, and I'll probably get Despair, and I'll get Wong. But that's really those are the only three figures in that Doctor Strange wave that I'm that interested in getting. So I don't think that wave will be too hard to get. I don't know if it'll worm peg or yeah, warm the pegs as much as the Eternals figures, but I don't think the Doctor Strange figures will be super hard to get. I might get Black Suit Spider Man though. The one, yeah, the last one that they did, I didn't think was a bad figure. So, and I got the Shocker. I mean, I got their most recent Shocker, so and which I think is a pretty solid figure as well. So, I just don't feel like with most of those, they're improved enough to warrant buying them again. Even like with Hammerhead, I mean, I used the Hammerhead head that they gave us previously with the Chameleon figure. I think it was the Chameleon figure, and then I forget what body I gave it, but it's not as big. But I mean, I kind of have a makeshift Hammerhead as well, but because it is the new Hammerhead's on a bigger body and stuff, that's why I'm probably gonna get that one. Not that I've heard. I'm still waiting on my Michael Keaton Batman figure from them. So Comic Wong would be cool too, but I definitely felt like I needed to get an MCU Wong. I mean, he's become a pretty key character here recently. So, but I don't need another Doctor Strange figure. I mean, honestly, the ones that we got previously were fine, but then we got another one in the Spider-Man wave, and then now we're getting another one. I don't I might get the Target one, the kind of Defenders outfit one with the magic portal if I see it in shelves, but I don't really feel a need to get the either the I don't really the translucent astral form one or the regular one. I just don't feel a huge need to get those. No, I've not heard. I really haven't heard anything on release dates, on actual shipping dates from Mezco on much of anything. Um, Nor have I heard any indication they're gonna do any more GI Joe figures. Hopefully they will. I mean, Firefly. We're still waiting on Destro. We got to get Destro before we get Firefly. Jerry says we need. Actually, sorry, that wasn't Jerry. Who said that? Oh, here we go. This this Life Forever TV. That's a mouthful of a name. But it says we need Law and Order for GI Joe. I wouldn't mind Law and Order, but there are definitely other characters I'd rather see before we got Law and Order. Comic or MCU version? I would go for a comic version of Aunt May more so than a MCU version, but Tyler got some MCU but stopped getting most of them a while ago when the figures were still bad. I mean, and part of it is, I mean, I think just because there's, the movies, the release of the figures not matching up very well with the movies' actual releases has kind of hurt MCU figures. I think the recent MCU figures not being as exciting as past MCU movie figure or movies. I think it's I mean, Eternals is a perfect example. I mean, those figures warm the pegs everywhere. Um, and they're not. I don't think the Eternals figures are bad figures. I just, you know, just people in general just were not that interested. Even the Shang Chi figures, for the most part, I don't think people were that much into. So, and I do feel like, because we've been getting a lot of MCU waves, they're kind of starting to clog up the shelves. I mean, I know like I go into Target and Walmart, I guess, and all I ever see are Eternals figures. So I take that back. When I went into Target last weekend, I also saw the second wave of Age of Apocalypse figures, but I feel like there's a lot of figures that are starting to kind of clog up the pegs for Marvel Legends. Well, yeah, like I grabbed the Odin figure for like $9 from Walmart over the holidays because they had it discounted. I wasn't gonna get that figure, but then I mean, I like $9. Yeah, how can I pass that up? I missed the suitor. I was gonna get the suitor when it was on sale, but I missed it. So, will we ever see comic book versions of the Eternals? I gotta say no. I mean, I won't say never. I never say never. But do I think we'll see any comic versions of Eternals anytime soon? That I gotta say no. Unfortunately, with the movie not having been received, I mean, I don't think it was a failure, but I don't think it was received as well as obviously Disney and such were hoping for. So, and being as how much the movie figures are warming pegs and stuff, I wouldn't hold my breath on seeing comic book versions of the Eternals anytime soon. Yeah, I see those Age of Apocalypse figures don't ever seem to move very well. I was actually pretty surprised that they ended up doing a second wave because the first wave, at least around me, ended up basically getting discounted and to get them cleared off the shelf. What's next for Hasla? I have no idea. It'll be interesting to see whether they do another large figure or whether they try and go the vehicle route. But they've not given us any indication of what they might do next for HasLab. If Lieutenant Falcon is coming, then Law and Order makes sense. I want to see Jinx and Falcon. Prophet, you sound like you are a big fan of the G.I. Joe animated movie. I mean, if we're gonna get Jinx and Falcon, you gotta throw in Big Lob and Tunnel Rat at the same time, right? I could see a comic book version of Circe, maybe Gilgamesh, just because those two characters, were in the '90s pretty, predominant members of the Avengers team. So if we did see any comic book versions of Eternals, ones like those would probably be most likely. Am I looking? I'm definitely interested to see what they do with it. So yeah, I mean we haven't really seen much on it yet, but I'm definitely interested. Julio says, "Don't forget about Cobra Law." There's just, I mean, to me, for me, I wouldn't hate if they did any of those characters, but just personally, there are a lot of characters that I would like to see before any of those later characters. We need just off the top of my head. I mean, Dreadnoks, as someone mentioned, Scrap Iron. see who else. On the Joe side, Blowtorch, Doc. I mean, we got to get a Doc, Torpedo, a Snow Job, Flash. So those are like, more of the original guys before we get to the later ones. Low light, leatherneck, wetsuit, quick kick, alpine, bazooka. Low light, yeah, that would be a cool one. Hawk, yeah. I could go for Hawk. There's just so many great GI Joe characters, and I mean, we've gotten a decent amount of classified figures, but it's not like Marvel Legends where we get like multiple waves. We get what, one or two waves a year right now so far. So I feel like we're gonna see more figures released this year than we did last year, but still, even still, a long way to go before they start running out of main characters to do. Televipers. I mean, yeah, I mean, when you start getting into all the various Cobra soldiers and stuff, I mean, there's so many that they can do. And they do, I mean, that's really been one of their focuses. I mean, we've already gotten Cobra Officer, Cobra Soldier, Alley Viper. I mean, I'm surprised we got Alley Vipers already. I mean, um, I was, really kind of surprised they went on and did Alley Vipers. Before we got the Crimson Guards and such. Shipwreck. Dusty, yeah. Seriously, we'll be in our 70s by the time we get half the main characters. Cover Girl. I hope we get Cover Girl. She always seems to get left out. We need a good Cover Girl figure. She was actually one of my favorite female Joes back in the day. Well, Crimson Guard commanders are definitely coming. They'll be in the next, they should be in the next wave after Spirit, Storm Shadow, and the Cobra Officer. So the next wave should be Stalker, uh, and the Crimson Guard commanders. All right, well, we've gone. Usually we do these for an hour. We're over about hour and 40, so I think we're gonna call it a night. But I do appreciate everyone who tuned in tonight. And for those of you into the GI Joe stuff, hopefully we will see some cool stuff tomorrow. I definitely plan on doing a news video tomorrow after the live stream, so hopefully you'll tune into that. Also, if you haven't already, please check out my review of the Masterverse Triclops figure. I did that earlier this week, so if you haven't already, please try and check that out. Oh, Recondo, yep, Recondo's another cool one. Sorry, like I said, the list goes on and on with the Joe characters. But again, thanks for everyone who tuned in tonight. I'm thinking this might. I kind of like this day and time. So this might become my regular live stream day going forward. So let me know what you think if you like Thursdays. But it seems like we had a good turnout tonight, so yeah. But definitely, hopefully some cool reveals for GI Joe. Lord Vengar with the last minute super chat, much appreciated, my friend. Sorry, man, you came in late, but hopefully you caught at least you caught the tail end. But yeah, anyway, sorry, my brain's scattered. But yeah, so we a news video probably tomorrow, and then we'll see if Hasbro does another live stream next Friday for something else. It's not going to be Marvel Legends, but remember, for you Marvel Legend fans, new X-Men Wave will be going up for pre-order next week, the 27th. So you have that to look forward to. That's the wave with Classic Havoc and Siren and everything. So, and like I said, we'll see if they announce another live stream for something else, Star Wars, Power Rangers, who knows. But looking forward to GI Joe tomorrow, and again, thanks to everybody who tuned in tonight, much appreciated. And as always, stay safe out there. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that bell notification. You know the drill. Until next time, guys, I'll catch you later.